Drive my Lamborghini or lose your job. Rich man mocked a black worker, didn't expect this. The Lamborghini gleamed under the harsh fluorescent lights, its black curves shining like liquid metal. This car was more than just a machine. It was a symbol of wealth, power, and arrogance. Every polished surface reflected the pride of the man who owned it, a man who believed money could command respect. But today, the Lamborghini was not just a display of luxury. It was a challenge, a test of skill, patience, and courage. And for the person standing before it, failure was not an option. Pride would be on the line. Everything would be tested. The millionaire moved through the garage like he owned not just the cars, but the air itself. Sharp suit, polished shoes, watch, and cufflinks catching the light. Every detail screamed authority. He demanded perfection, feared failure, and thrived on intimidation. To him, skill was only valuable if it bowed to his ego. Today, he believed he held all the power, but he had yet to meet the person who would challenge that belief. The worker stepped into the garage with calm precision. His hands were steady, moving over the tools as if each had a purpose only he could see. Sweat traced the lines of focus on his face, but his eyes remained sharp, scanning the Lamborghini with quiet confidence. Underestimated by everyone who glanced his way, he carried the kind of skill that money couldn't buy. Years of experience, patience, and determination had honed him. Today, that skill would be the only thing standing between him and the millionaire's wrath. The millionaire's voice cut through the hum of the garage, sharp and commanding. "Drive my Lamborghini or lose your job," he barked, his smirk daring defiance. Every word was meant to intimidate, to break the confidence of the man standing before him. Most would have frozen, most would have faltered, but not him. He met the millionaire's gaze with quiet resolve, measuring the challenge before him. In that moment of silence, the first test was clear. Skill alone would decide who truly held power. The worker leaned over the Lamborghini's engine, every movement deliberate, precise. Each tool he picked up was an extension of his experience, each adjustment a silent calculation. The millionaire circled him like a predator, arms crossed, smirking. His presence meant to unsettle. He mocked, he sneered, trying to force doubt. But the worker's focus never wavered. In this garage, skill would speak louder than threats. The engine refused to roar. Smoke curled from its core and sparks danced across metal surfaces. Every failed attempt was a reminder of the difficulty, but the worker's hands remained steady. The millionaire's laughter grew sharper, his insults more cutting. "You'll never get it running," he sneered. He snapped fingers through tools, trying to force a mistake. Yet with each challenge, the worker's focus only sharpened. Every obstacle was a puzzle, every insult a test of composure. For a heartbeat, hesitation flickered across the worker's face. The engine's stubborn silence whispered failure, the millionaire's presence a looming shadow of doubt. Sweat traced his brow, hands trembling ever so slightly. But then came memory. Years of late nights, endless practice, countless moments where giving up was easier, but never allowed. He took a deep breath, steadied his hands, and returned to the task. Doubt was acknowledged, but it did not control him. Determination surged where fear once lingered. Then with deliberate precision, the worker executed a technique the millionaire had never expected. Sparks flew as metal connected, components locked into place, and the engine began to hum with life. Every movement was calculated, each adjustment a statement of skill and control. The air in the garage shifted. The tension, once dominated by mockery, now crackled with the promise of victory. The millionaire's smirk faltered. For the first time, he sensed the balance of power beginning to shift. The engine roared to life, a deep, powerful growl that filled the garage. The Lamborghini vibrated, alive under the worker's hands. The millionaire froze, eyes wide, jaw dropping. Every ounce of arrogance drained from his posture as reality sank in. Skill, patience, and determination had won. The worker stepped back, wiping his hands on a rag, calm and composed. No words were needed. The impossible had been achieved, and the balance of power had shifted in silence. The garage was silent except for the soft hum of the Lamborghini's engine. The millionaire stood frozen, stunned by what he had just witnessed. His smirk was gone, replaced by a sudden bitter awareness. Money and intimidation could not command skill. The worker remained composed, his focus never wavering, nodding slightly in quiet acknowledgement. Respect had been earned without a single word. The Lamborghini gleamed, not as a symbol of wealth, but as proof that talent could not be bought or broken. Talent cannot be purchased. Respect cannot be demanded. Both are earned through skill, patience, and unwavering determination. The worker walked away with quiet confidence, leaving the millionaire to process the lesson he had refused to see. Pride and arrogance had been confronted by focus and ability, and the truth was undeniable. True power lies not in wealth, but in what you can achieve when others doubt you. The garage faded into the glow of the setting sun, light reflecting off polished exotics. The Lamborghini sat quietly, engine's roar now a distant echo. Skill had triumphed over arrogance. Ego had been humbled, and in that moment the lesson was clear. Respect is earned, not demanded, and true power is measured by what you can do, not what you own.